When is Hanukkah starting? I asked. When could it begin? I want to begin getting ready. Can I polish the menorah? My sister wanted to hunt for the dreidels. My mama tried to slow us down. We have a whole week to prepare, she said. But we begged and pleaded. It didn't take much to have her give in. Soon we were beginning our preparations for the holidays. My babushka and grandpa also had important preparations for Hanukkah. Babushka always made all of our Hanukkah candles herself, patiently dipping a string into beeswax over and over and over. But my grandpa had the most exciting way of preparing for the holidays. He carved wooden figures for us every year, for me and for my sister Linda. It was so wonderful. One day, we saw him leaving the house, and we couldn't help sneaking into his workshop to see how those wooden figures were coming along this year. My sister saw a new kind of figure, one she'd never seen before. Look, she said, a dancing goat. My favorite was the little dog. It was so cute. We wondered if he'd made enough for all of the nights of Hanukkah, but we didn't have time to count because we heard my mama calling. Trisha! We thought for a moment that she'd caught us spying, but she just wanted me to head over to the Kremel's house to borrow some cornmeal.
The Portuguese poet Fernando Pessoa said, "Beauty is the name of something that doesn't exist, but that I give to things in exchange for the pleasure they give me. It means nothing. So why do I say about things, they're beautiful?" In writing my credo, I pondered this question. Why do I say about things, they're beautiful? Why do I give this beauty to things? Why do they give that pleasure to me? A credo is a system of beliefs. For many, it is a statement of faith. It is a statement of a faith one has in beauty and in pleasure. A faith in beauty that it can be traded for happiness. A faith in pleasure that it is somehow intrinsic in the being of beautiful things. We trade beauty for pleasure, and we feel the need to justify that transaction. A credo is that justification. A credo is an answer to that question. Why do I say about things, they're beautiful? My credo is not a statement of faith. It's a declaration of adoration and amazement. Beauty is the name of something that doesn't exist. Pleasure is not inherent to things we call beautiful. And yet, still, we give beauty to these things and get pleasure in return. That's the marvelous thing about humanity, what fills me with awe. We transcend the mandate of nature, the drone of our biology insisting we carry on living, and make something supernatural of the world we are in. We, people, do this. We look into an arrangement of pigment and cellulose, and we get beauty. And what is beauty? It's the name of something that doesn't exist, but we humans have it, and it's beautiful.
We must take care of her. The angels are mother. We must take care of her. Hey yana ho yana, hey yan yan. Hey yana ho yana, hey yan yan. Her sacred ground we walk upon. With every step we take her. Hey yan we walk upon. With every step we take. Yana ho yana, hey yan yan. Hey yana ho yana, hey yan yan. Hey yana ho yana, hey yan yan.
One day, long ago, the rabbis of the city of Lydda were arguing a point of law. After much discussion, all of them were in agreement, except for Rabbi Eliezer. The rabbis were sitting on the benches near the walls of the house of study in Lydda. A small stream ran nearby, and the trees shaded the rabbis from the sun. It was a beautiful day, but Rabbi Eliezer paid no attention to the sunshine and the breeze. He argued and argued until it was clear that he could not win. Then he turned to all the other rabbis and said,
I will prove to you that I am right and you are wrong. If I am right, let this carob tree move.
As sudden as a flash of lightning, the carob tree jumped from the ground and flew across the stream. And just as suddenly, it planted itself on the other bank of the stream. The rabbis were amazed. They could hardly believe their eyes. For a moment, they sat quietly, lost in thought. At last, Rabbi Joshua stood and said,
Carob trees do not know the law. You can't prove that you are right by asking a carob tree to move.
Rabbi Eliezer would not give up.
If I am right, let this stream flow backwards.
As the rabbis watched, the water in the stream came to a complete stop. Then the water began to run uphill toward the mountains of Judea. Rabbi Joshua stood and said,
Streams do not know the law either. You cannot prove that you are right by asking a stream to flow backwards.
Rabbi Eliezer refused to give up.
If I am right, let the walls of the house of study fall.
The brick walls of the house of study began to tremble. The rabbis jumped from their seats and started to run for safety.
Wait! Wait! You walls have no right to make laws for Israel. You must stand and not fall.
Listening to Rabbi Joshua, the walls refused to fall. But because Rabbi Eliezer had asked them to fall, the walls leaned a little. And from that day on, the walls of the house of study at Lydda always leaned over the rabbis when they sat outdoors on their benches. When they saw that it was safe, the rabbis took their seats again. Rabbi Joshua asked,
Rabbi Eliezer, why not give up and admit that you are beaten?
Rabbi Eliezer crossed his arms and spoke again.
I can prove that I am correct. If I am right, let heaven say so.
Rabbi Eliezer knows the law. Why do you argue with him?
Now Rabbi Joshua stood again.
God has told us in the teachings, law is not in heaven. We Jews pay no attention to voices from the sky because long ago the Torah told us the majority rules. When we rabbis argue, we take a vote to see who wins.
Then the rabbis voted. Rabbi Eliezer cast one vote for his argument. All the other rabbis voted against him. Rabbi Eliezer lost the argument. Thus, the rabbis taught us that we must not rely on trees or streams or walls or even heaven itself to settle our arguments. We must settle them ourselves.
I can't change, even if I try, even if I wanted to, then I can't change, even if I try, even if I wanted to. My love, she gives me warmth.
where I have found levers, a compass, a sextant to guide me and scale the night sky. The horizon beckons, away from home to no place I have known, yet the hearth and its markings are familiar. I can measure my steps from here to there, in months and years and countless joys and pains. A landscape that echoes the altitude of grief, the latitude of learning, the longitude of love.
I have found my footsteps from years before, where I placed my feet in climbing rocks or stood barefoot in sand. The place where I held you and where you touched me. There in my heart, there on my face, there in my mind.
In my knapsack, I carry something beyond the physical evidence of travel, harboring the echo of voice and image of heart that taught me to grieve and allowed me to see.
I remain a witness to our joining, finding my path open with learning. Once grief is lost from the map of love.